Good evening, Advantage members. Happy Sunday. It's November 6th, about 6:40 p.m. my time. So first things first, we need to talk about this news, this sort of drama that's building up in the crypto space, which is FTX potentially being insolvent again, allegedly and rumored. I mean, heavy rumors, right? But the point is, I thought that was interesting that CZ decided to sort of, add to the drama a little bit, talking about doing some house cleaning, liquidating some of their FTT that's on their books because they're concerned of the saga that happened with Luna earlier this year. And so they called it, house cleaning. And so, him sort of talking about this so publicly and openly and not doing it behind closed doors, you can kind of see like this stuff definitely is, in my opinion, building risk or building a discomfort in the market. And you can kind of see is visibly showing signs of weakness on the hourly time frame in BTC. So you can see, right as the weekly open, right, we started to drop off, breaking this support, which was the previous, 21,000 SR level right here that we held through the weekend, and now we finally broke it. Same goes for other altcoins, right? You can kind of see that FTT itself, the coin that's under scrutiny because of what CZ's saying about selling FTT. FTT is actually down over the past, I think, 5 or 6 days. It's down about 15%. That is not a good sign. Again, I'm not here to contemplate if FTX is insolvent or if FTT is going to be a coin that's going to get hammered like Luna. What I'm saying is, how does the crypto market as a whole perceive it? If the market perceives that this is a risk, and even if it's real or not, the market as a whole, people, funds themselves will start de-risking. And if they start de-risking, well, then it will probably start with BTC, right? Because it's the largest, most liquid asset. And then secondly, it'd probably be something like Ethereum, FTT itself. And then I would want to be paying attention to the stronger coins over the past few days, such as Atom and Matic. Atom, Matic, and ETH. Okay, I think these three coins right here, if these start showing a good amount of weakness, that means that there are some real concerns in the crypto market that cannot just be solved and patched up by, I don't know, time or bidding up, the liquidity. I think FTX or FTT will have to show that, hey, we have the money and we're not insolvent, or the market will sort of pressure, the rest of the coins down, and that could be your sort of de-risking event. Either that leads to FTX being insolvent. I don't know. I personally don't think so, obviously, because I have a bunch of money on FTX, but I've also de-risked my money in such a way that I know that if FTX or Binance or Coinbase or Uniswap or MetaMask, if any of these places gets hacked or is insolvent or is unable to pay back, my money back to me, it's not that I'm going to lose everything, right? And I hope you have considered that, especially given what happened to Luna earlier this year. I'm not going to talk about the FUD or, misinformation or whatever you want to call it regarding FTX's insolvency. Again, I don't know the numbers because technically no one knows the numbers. We don't even know if what CZ is saying or, Sam Bankman-Fried, who is talking about. So you could kind of look up SBF right here, right? You can see SBF has kind of mentioned things regarding FTX and those who have been supporting him. So you can see there's positive things coming out. But the point is that when the market starts sniffing out stuff like this, you really want to be cautious and careful. Whether it's direct insolvency or not, you need to be careful about your positioning and your exposure to the market, especially to the long side, because everything could be fine with FTX. But by the time the market gets done with trying to figure out if FTX is insolvent or if FTT is a token that isn't going to zero, right? By the time the market figures that out, BTC could be down another 5-10%. Ethereum could be brought back to levels of, I don't know, 1400 or 1350 down here, maybe even lower. Solana, which by the way, pretty much erased its entire up move right here because of there's like a Google partnership, right? There's a Google partnership that Solana had sort of talked about right here, or Google Cloud technically talked about Solana, and it popped nicely in a 10% fashion. And then, of course, right after that, the market completely erased the Google Cloud partnership like nothing happened. When things like this start to happen, where big moves like this that were accelerating to the upside get quickly sold off, it means that something is definitely wrong in this asset itself, or the market as a whole is definitely weak. If either or both these points are true, you want to be extremely careful of the long side of the positioning and exposure to the market. Now, I will say that I had perfectly, posted this on Twitter. So if you're watching this on Twitter or you were part of our Discord community, I posted this for my Advantage members almost, perfectly in time. And right after that, the market just squeezed up. As you can see, it went from 35.8, it went all the way to 38.8. So that was almost a 10% move that I got to mention to my Advantage members. So again, perks of, sort of being in our community if you're not already. Now, well, what do you do after the reversal here? Well, as I talked about before, again, another thing that I mentioned, I personally have a bit of a fear, especially given now the fact that it's the beginning of a new month, it's November, and November is the last time last year when we basically put in a top in the crypto market and we sold off since then, right? If you want me to remind you of what happened November last year, here is exactly what took place right there, right? Again, I'm not saying that this November has to be the same. What I'm saying is that, first of all, the entire year we've been selling off. It is a new month, and we ended, second half of October, right? So from this low to this high, we ended October with almost a 14% gain in BTC. Solana went from, as you can see, right, mid-October. So basically, 2 days back, it was up 38%. Matic, these other coins, pretty much from middle of September, or let's just say middle of October, they're up almost 75-80%. That's how much Matic is up. Here is Atom from mid-October. It's currently up 34-35%, up almost 44% at the highs. And Ethereum, which was sitting down here around 1250 mid-October, went all the way up to a 32% high by the end of October. And now, as we begin a new month, you don't know how things are going to pan out. You don't know if that bullish bid is going to stay intact in the market. Okay, so these are the real concerns that I would be paying attention to as you head into the month of November. Now, what have we done the past few days? Well, we've been incredibly good at just scalping the shit out of this market because it has been so darn good to give us these very high risk, quick scalp trades up and down in the market. $200 here, $100 there, $300 here, $400 there. You could see this high risk scalp channel has done incredibly well over the past few weeks that I've been talking about it. And then there's other positions that I took, right? Altcoin spot buy. I closed out a Atom spot position in a nice 7% profit. Took that trade, I think, 3rd of November. Before that, I had taken a Matic spot position, which I obviously got out way too early. But again, profit is profit to me, right? So I took a Matic spot and an Atom spot, both leading to a 10% and a 2.5% profit. And then again, I got into an Atom spot position and a One Harmony spot. I got out of the Atom spot in a 7% profit, and then One Harmony barely like break even. And then I decided to long Ethereum again a couple of days back, got in perfectly at 1590. This thing started to rip up, and I think I closed out again a little bit early, but a nice 5% profit, right? I shorted yesterday, okay? Yesterday I shorted FTT, half position. You can see entry, I got in around 24.5. This morning I woke up and I was like, okay, well, it looks like it already dropped a lot. It dropped almost 8 to 10%. Screw it, let's just take that profit, right? So we just secured, almost 5 to 7 trades over just the past, week or two, that have been incredibly good without putting on too much risk, without too much market uncertainty, right? Getting in, getting out, quick in and out, quick money, okay? Again, none of this is investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is how I trade. In markets like this, I like to put on big risk, put, big trades on, get in, get out, and take my profit because the volatility is there, right? Whatever position I want to get into, long or short, the market is giving me that in not only different assets such as Ethereum or Atom or Matic, but these are highly liquid assets, and they're moving very, very nicely. You can kind of see that in this move right here, in this red candle, Matic moved down 3.7%. That's 1 hour of a 3.7% candle. On a 100K trade, that's like $3,700. That's a pretty solid trade. So you could kind of see that. Point is, when you have a decent amount of liquidity in the market, which personally I believe the market has right now, and you have these bigger volatile moves, that is fantastic. That is how I want to get positioned in and out of my trades without putting on too much risk. Okay, so that is my overall thought on some of these alts, just from a broader 30,000 foot view. Now, I'm going to just quickly talk about what I believe is happening in the market. First of all, I believe that what we mentioned earlier, those mid-October moves, I believe that they've come to their completion, which is that I believe this is the top. Of course, I could be wrong. If the market starts to smash up above these levels and trade higher, I mean, there's no way I would want to start going short above this area, right? But you need to see a strong close on Matic or Ethereum above these highs from a few days back. And then I'd be interested in longs. For Matic, I would definitely take this to like $1.75, $2, $3, way the heck up here. But I kind of think that these moves were a little bit exaggerated, and I think they were forced by short liquidations in the market. You can actually look up this data by yourself. If you start punching in, heat map data, and you start looking at open interest climb right here, massive open interest climb, massive amounts of liquidations piling up, right? And then you can kind of see that net long positionings were really, really pushing up. But then I think open interest is coming back, cumulative volume delta is coming back, and you can kind of see all that stuff is just dying off, meaning this was an accelerated move to squeeze out shorts, really, really, get longs excited really fast. And I think that excitement is about to die off. And I think we're about to start, heading down. I talked about this again in my Twitter feed right here. Friday, I said, I honestly think that this is the top. Like, I really think we're probably baiting a bunch of buyers. We're buying late. And personally, I think we're going to head down, headed into this coming week. Now, again, I'm not one to be a perma bear, as this person wants to call me, because again, I've traded both sides of the market. I showed you guys, I shorted FTT, and then I longed ETH this past week. I had spot buy positions in Atom and Matic and One Harmony. So I've played both sides of the market over the past several weeks. When the market is good, I'm going to trade it. Doesn't matter which direction, doesn't matter what coin, as long as it has good liquidity, good volume, and good placement where I can get in and get out of my position without too much deep risk in terms of stops, right? So that's really what I wanted to mention regarding my positioning, as well as just my thoughts on what I believe is going to happen this coming week. Okay. Well, how I've positioned myself right now is mostly flat. I mean, I have a bunch of spot positions that I've had for years in like Bitcoin and ETH. But I just have like really just one short position. That's simply because I really think Doge is just a Doge was like the finishing move, in my opinion, of what the market was creating as a local top. And so I shorted Doge. I shorted Doge around 13-ish, 13.2, 13.3, something like that up here. Personally, I think it's going to break down much further. I think that from here, it can easily drop another 30, 40%. But again, not investment advice. I'm not telling you to start shorting now so you can ride this trade down. Because if you're getting short now, your stop is almost a 40% high, right? Because my stop is up here. And I can start trimming my position down or lowering my stop and break even and, you know, have a risk-free trade. You may not be able to do that because you're getting in pretty late for a short. But fundamentally, I really believe that Doge already gave us that top signal a week ago before the rest of the market topped. And I think we're going to head down. And I think the next big stop for Doge is at minimum 0.09, which is this level right here. That's a 23% drop. And then I think it's going to erase pretty much most of this rally right here, which is a 0.06, 45% drop. Okay. So yeah, that's really the only short that I have right now. Like I said, I've been playing scalps here and there, intraday trades. I don't feel like I need to start heavy shorting, like in a swing short position. I'm enjoying myself getting in, getting out daily. The daily profit is nice. I love trading the volatility of the market. If I want to get into a position of a swing short, I'd probably target something like ETH or BTC. I think Ethereum is probably the cleanest looking chart. If I kept it very, very simple, I just do this, and then take this trade back down to the point of origin of breakout right here. And then personally, I think ETH at some point will drop to $1,000. That's like a 35% drop, right? To me, that's a pretty good trade. I know people want to get those 5Xers or 10Xers in the current bear market. I think that's going to be tough for a little while. So I would encourage you to be patient, especially chasing the market up. We could kind of see how equities are going to pan out, headed into Monday. I don't really know. I think last week was pretty bad. Friday was like the only good day, but most of last week was just a down week, right? Like we only had one day of reprieve Friday. I want to show you guys one more thing, which is horrible in terms of what happened in the stock market Friday, which I believe almost everybody is ignoring or they just like don't pay attention to. Number one, Apple got hammered the entire week last week and Friday. Look at Snowflake. Again, growth stocks. Look at Snowflake. Snowflake was down damn near 12%. I think Carvana, I want to say, was also down a good amount. Carvana was down almost, these are again growth stocks. Carvana is down 40% last week. I'm sorry, 40% Friday. Just Friday, Carvana was down 40%. Okay. Or some other stocks. Let me see here. CrowdStrike. I think CrowdStrike was down 10%. There's another bunch of stocks. Asana. Let me see Asana. How much was Asana down? Asana down, 4.5%. But point is, like, look at the state of some of these stocks. These are growth stocks. Okay. These are like, first of all, these are stocks that actually have a business. They actually have revenue. They actually make products that people use all over the world. Unlike many crypto projects, which do not even have anywhere close to the same penetration, the same revenue models, the same profitability, or anything, right? So you got to ask yourself, when growth stocks last week, as well as Apple and Microsoft and Facebook, which have been getting hammered, for the past like several weeks, if they're looking like this, what do you think is going to happen with crypto, if the market were to take another leg down in the US equity space, that is, right? I would probably figure it's not good. And, from BTC perspective, if you kind of keep it simple like this, right? And you say, hey, this is the range high right here. And you can kind of see we're breaking back inside this wick high, this range high. That's not a good thing, right? This basically means that this is your excess, your failed breakout, your deviation, whatever you want to call it. And now we're about to return back home to the point of, next area of support, which is down here around $20,000 right there. Okay. And if that's the case, I mean, that's not good, right? We can look at the weekly chart too. I did not really think the weeklies look that great. Personally, I think, first of all, weekly volume right here dropped down a little bit, kind of like a, indecision candle. Obviously slightly more positive than indecision, but nonetheless, not really that great in my opinion. If we look at the weekly on ETH, in my opinion, again, not really the best close that you want to see. This is still clear lower highs that we're seeing, right? This is a low, a lower low. This can easily trend down by the end of the month or by the end of this quarter, and ETH could be back to 1,400 or 1,200 or 1,000 down here. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to be paying attention to is like, why are these assets looking like they look right now? And what could be the next sort of domino to fall or the next trigger, or even just like positioning wise, right? Like what is the best position that you could be in right now, given how the market looks, given this, news that's coming out about FTT and, CZ and Binance, like talking about liquidating some of their FTT position and FTX having, again, potential insolvency issues, which again, I don't believe in, but the point is like, if it were to come true, well, how would you be protected, right? And then of course, even if it wasn't true, well, what could the market do in terms of beating up these assets? Okay, so this is the real concern right now. And that's how I'm going to be playing the market headed into this new coming week. Okay, that's really all I have. I don't want to harp on this stuff too much. Just keep it very simple. Again, trading it day in and day out. That's all I'm willing to do right now. If y'all like this analysis, hit the thumbs up. If you want more content, join our Discord group. The link is below. Leave us a comment of your thoughts. Aside from that, everything else looks decent. I personally think almost all assets have come to their local highs perfectly in time with the rest of the market. So I believe that this is the time to de-risk, consider putting on hedges or shorts. And that's all I have. Okay. Again, not investment advice. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of the weekend / coming week ahead. Okay. Cheers.